Yo, hey. Yo, May. Yo, Shao May. I'm the freestyle king in Drippin' Springs. Boy, you want to come and get me? My name is Mike D. I have to go pee, and I need to work on my bad knees. Oh.
Catch much?
I was expecting a big water bottle, not a little...
A lob at you.
Not a little fucking... You know what we need to make more public? We need to fight. Everyone is worried about abortion rights and women's rights, right? And Pride Month and Black Lives Matter and all this crap. That's not crap, but all this stuff.
Golly.
You know what we need to...
Starting off hot now, boys.
You know what we need to fight? Foreskin removals. We need to stop circumcisions. Circumcisions.
There we go.
Did I not say it right the first time?
He said sizzin.
Are you sure?
We'll see it on the playback.
We'll play it back. I'm getting pretty obsessed with there's a
Tell us the story about the old story about how we started cutting our dicks.
there's a couple of movies on Prime, Amazon Prime, that are called Circumcision in America on Amazon Prime, and it talks about the history of it. And they showed the videos of the babies being strapped in and removing the foreskin. That's fucking horrible. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
You need to go watch it.
Top of my list.
You should watch that
Watching
shit.
babies.
Why? How come we're still doing that? Why is that really a thing?
Old habits die hard.
They talk about how it's more it's cleaner. No, it's
like
not.
the Bible thing, right? It's like cleanliness.
Well, in the New Testament, yeah. So it talked about. I'm not all the way through this movie. I fell asleep.
Movie.
Well, it's a movie, a docu movie, but it talks about how in the New Testament, there's a mention about how that surgery is frowned upon. Like, don't do it anymore. You don't need to do this anymore. You got nothing?
I thought you were going to say something else.
I was confused because why is there a New Testament? What happened to the original Bible? Why is that one? You follow the new one now?
It's one or the other.
Let me get an update.
There's groups.
You know more about this.
History
changed it.
Was updated.
But
no, they're different. Was it Genesis is like
you tell me
a long time ago when everything formed, the waters and the skies, and
I'm still talking about circumcision.
Well, let's tell you the story about the sport that I don't know if it's completely true.
No, it's the movie that said it. So I didn't research any of this.
You know what the movie's called?
Circumcision in America.
Okay. All right. What is the sport?
America I don't know what the
sport is. When you
said
said the sport earlier, you remember Twilight when they played that crazy baseball?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, this is what we play. We're vampires. We play baseball. Whenever you said that, I just imagine like people with superhuman like powers and strength or whatever playing baseball.
No, I don't know what the sport was. They didn't mention the sport in the movie. Mm-hmm. So, but it was a sport where the Jewish community did it naked. Okay. And they would go watch it. And they didn't like the skin flapping around everywhere. So they would pull the skin back on the shaft and then clip it. That way it wouldn't flap, right? Because they didn't like the flap didn't cover the penis, the head. Well, those little clips would fall off, and then the skin would go around the shaft to the head here, right?
Yeah.
Are you uncomfortable?
No, it's funny watching you explain this.
And so they started cutting it more back. So it was already kind of cut. They started it like kind of, but now they cut it. Then they're like, well, we're going to cut it more. So the movie made it appear like they started cutting it more in the Jewish community just because they didn't like the way it looked. And now there's science saying like it prevents HPV, it prevents AIDS, it's more clean, but it's really not.
I would think playing sports, having that overlap the head would help protect it. But it's not aesthetic. It's all about aesthetics.
I don't know why. So
why are they playing naked?
I don't know.
That's the big question.
I don't know. I need to look into that sport because I might want to play it. But why do we still do it? So they mentioned that America is the only civilized country that still practices that surgery today.
Isn't it a Christianity thing? I mean, aren't other countries, like a lot more countries, there's countries that are Christians too, don't they do it?
I mean, the movie made it seem like, no, like we're the only country that routinely practices this surgery. Should we Google this?
Yeah, I saw a documentary about this and like save the penis or what is it? Save something.
Circumcision.
Yeah.
What countries practice circumcision? Holy shit.
Did we just debunk the movie? Well,
no, I just read that there's an article that popped up about there's some countries that apparently practice female circumcision.
What is that?
I don't know. Okay, what countries? So there's 17, apparently.
Yeah, there's women that go and get like the extra cut off.
It's led by the U.S. There's a number of them, but it's led by globally. So this is from 2017. Globally, 1/3 of males aged 15 and above are circumcised, but male circumcision is almost universal in countries where the Muslim and Jewish faith are commonplace, according to the most accurate estimate among the world's 237 countries. Approximately all circumcisions were religious. You're right. Approximately half of all circumcisions were or are for religious and cultural reasons.
Did it say Muslims get it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's like everybody then.
The prevalence of circumcisions varies widely in Western countries led by the U.S., 71%, then New Zealand, Australia, the UK, France, Germany, Sweden, Italy, and Ireland.
They do what?
Those are the countries that all practice.
Oh.
But it's like 71% is the U.S., and then the second is New Zealand at 33% of the population, of the male population is circumcised.
So the movie's full of shit.
No, it's still it didn't. It's still by over 50% more here in the U.S. Other countries do it too, but it's a lot more. People in the U.S. do it, and they're not even doing it for religious reasons. They're just doing it because it's practice here. Like, oh, we have a boy, we get him circumcised. Are you circumcised?
I sure am.
Was it for religious reasons?
I chose when I was a baby.
Was it just for religious reasons?
I feel like it's just a thing to do. I think it's aesthetics. I don't know if it was a religion for me.
Aesthetics?
Yeah, I think people think it looks better. I mean, obviously, that's what they did. Supposedly, the sport, they want to look better out in the field, man.
So there's this piece of skin on the back of your penis, or the front of it, depending on which way you're looking at it.
On the bottom or top?
Bottom.
There we go.
That's good. It's called the frenulum. Okay.
How'd you remember that word?
It's an easy word to remember.
Common knowledge.
Well, I mean, they're talking about my penis here. I want to be able to remember.
The frenulum?
The frenulum.
Frenulum.
There's no D. Frenulum.
Okay.
And you lose that when you get circumcised. And that is what, there's more pleasure glands or spots in that piece of skin. They equate it to the women's clitoris.
Are you losing a portion of this or
all of it? It's gone. You don't have it. Well, you don't have it, my friend.
What do you have, though? There's something there.
Yeah, your penis. It feels good.
Yeah, but what is that part?
Your penis.
It's not part of the frenulum?
No. The frenulum.
Frenulum.
Yeah, frenulum. There's three main things, and the frenulum is the most sensitive, according to this movie.
What do you think they do with that part?
I don't know, but Mexicans don't do that. In fact, if Mexicans knew where the frenulums were, they'd go fucking get them all.
What?
Yeah, they would. Mexicans. Well, I think it's pretty. At least in my family. I think it's pretty common that we don't do the circumcision.
Yeah. Well, if I had a choice now, knowing what you told me, I'd go back. But I've heard people older get circumcised because they want it to look more aesthetic.
Oh, it's only because of looks?
I think so. Well, I mean, it's obviously for a religion, but
I think there's there's some people that have to get circumcised later in life for health reasons.
Yeah.
If they have diabetes, I think that's like a thing, and I don't know why that's a thing. Like I said, I stopped this documentary is like an hour and 50 minutes, and I made it through halfway.
Yeah, I think I think some of it's like if the vast majority of girls used to seeing a circumcised penis, and then a guy feels obligated to do it because they're going to look different.
That would be insane.
I think there's a bunch of components, but
think about going through the pandemic where they were telling you need to get a shot for a shot. That's like the same thing. Yeah. You need to get circumcised.
It's like social pressure.
It's healthy for you. It's healthier.
I think people know no better. Some parents just know no better, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, it looks better.
That's my body, my choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need to make that. That should be the sole purpose of Curiosity with Jon and Mike. We need to fight unwarranted circumcisions.
We can start by making shirts with a little piece of shirt, like as a symbolism for the skin. You know, we'll just put a little piece of material.
Yeah.
By like a screen printed penis, and then you're adding back that little material. Can we put it back?
Can you say it out loud for me? What is circumcision? Now say it out loud slowly. What is it?
Cutting penis.
How crazy is that? You're cutting a piece of your penis off. Isn't that insane?
Especially when you're little. How are they?
They strap you down.
I know, but it's such a small area.
They put these
like a baby.
They put these forceps on it, and they like pull it up.
Ugh, you're making me puke.
It's common knowledge. I mean, we're talking medical stuff here. They strap the baby's legs and Velcro, right? All their limbs are strapped in, and then they put these forceps on it, and they pull up the skin and they cut it.
Stop.
There's like 2 incisions that they cut, 2 or 3. Stop. Why? So that gross. Stuff's like crazy.
Do they like do any kind of pain management?
It didn't seem like they did. No.
Yeah, because that seems
I'm kind of ignorant because I don't have it, so I don't know what goes on.
You know how like protective and like soft we are with babies, and then like that seems just
that's fucking insane, right?
It seems like anybody doing it would just be like, I don't feel comfortable doing this.
There's a lot of nurses and a lot of doctors that are starting to be vocal about it. So this documentary was made in 2019, so right before the pandemic.
I think it's like for religious reasons. It's like the doctor's not like the person that's supposed to be doing it. That's like a medical professional. It needs to be someone within the religion. I think I heard a story of somebody wanted to get it done, and so he scheduled it, and they were like, hey, can I have I don't know what it is, priest, whatever it is, come and bless this or whatever.
Bless the foreskin.
And so when the doctor left the office, the priest did it real quick because he had, all the
oh my God,
all the equipment.
This is recent?
I heard, man, I need to figure out who I heard it from, but then they did it, and then the priest left, and then the doctor had to like do the rest. But I think the act needed to be done by
How
the priest.
sick is that?
I don't know.
That's pretty fucking sick.
I don't know. But I think it's shifting with the documentaries coming out. I think like people are starting to think about it more. But other than that, I think it's just like the whole sheep thing. I think, don't get it wrong. I think a lot of people do it for religious reasons. But after that, I think it's aesthetics, and then after that, I think it's just like, well, I'm that way, so my boy's going to be that way or whatever. You know, like just repeating because it's been done before.
Yeah,
it's just common, popular. I don't know,
popular.
Yeah, but the main is religion. I think it's all over the Bible talking about that.
Not in the New Testament though.
How do you know that? Does it say it in the movie?
It says it in the movie.
I haven't read the New Testament. I only read Genesis.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's very. There's all the talk about women's, bodies and choice, especially with the news that just came out today about Roe v. Wade. But we don't hear anything about the circumcision.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think about the old Roe?
The Roe. That's pretty great. Texas is going to ban the shit out of abortions. If you get raped or you get molested or whatever happens, you're not going to be able to have an abortion.
And we know with epigenetics and stuff, like if you have some crazy person do that to you,
Mm-hmm.
your kid's gonna have a lot of that too.
I'm hopeful that it won't be that way. Like once they finally put the laws in the books, there's going to be some exceptions for stuff like that. As for medical reasons, they can tell if the pregnancy is going to be, harmful to the baby, harmful to the mom. There's those exceptions, but this law Roe v. Wade has been on the books for 50 years.
As need to be talked about, and it just hasn't been until now.
No. It's been in place, protecting women's rights or giving them the ability to have the abortions up to a certain point.
What president
that was Roe versus Wade
was in office when this started?
I don't know. Let's see. You want to do a little Google?
Yeah. So what does that mean? When does this take effect? Since is it effective now? They have to make policies right now.
They overturned it, but Texas has like some type of like 30-day law. So basically, Texas is implementing a ban on abortions within 30 days of this announcement.
Yeah.
Let's see what.
I guess it's so personal, but when you have like a facility, like a hospital facilitating the abortion, it kind of gets unhumane. But I mean, I guess you're not going to do it yourself. You know what I mean? Is that more
Right.
people's problems? Like there's a facility like doing it? Or the act too, I guess the big thing was like, when is it okay? Like in the embryo stage, or when it's a zygote, or if all of it's bad, when it starts to get a couple cells, like
Every state. It was Richard Nixon, and it became. But he really didn't like make the decision. It was the Supreme Court in 1973 that made the decision.
I was just wondering who was in office because it's so long ago.
Old Nixon.
50 years ago?
49 years ago. Yeah. So every state's going to have their own, or have the ability to enact their own laws, which is going to suck for women in Texas that need that care. And the flip side of it, the ironic side of it, is whenever we were doing the whole vaccine mandates and Republicans were like, my body, my choice, and keep that needle out of my body, and I don't need the medical, you can't tell me what to do, all that bullshit. And now that shit's over, they're like, well, hey, we don't want you to get an abortion, so what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And we know it's wrong, so you're not going to be able to do it.
You know what I predict?
A mass overturn. A mass eruption of corruption. What? A mass.
Something mass.
Yeah. A mass eruption of corruption.
Ooh.
You like that?
You should put that on a shirt too. I predict that all the people from California are going to move back.
Because of that?
Some of them, not all of them, I guess.
Yeah. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I mean, that might make a decision. Go back.
It'll make people drive across state lines. I forget where they were driving to.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
If you're a citizen of Texas, can you go to California and then follow their rules?
No, you can drive. So that's what was happening right now. Texas, earlier this year or early last year, they put more restrictions on abortions. I think it was like you couldn't get an abortion after 6 weeks of conception, which a lot of women don't even know that they're pregnant at the 6 week mark.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I forget where they were driving to, but they were driving across state lines to go get those abortions. So it's like Texas and Louisiana. I think it's Louisiana, maybe Mississippi, but I think it's Louisiana. Those are like the two states that had the more stringent laws on abortion. I think Louisiana was maybe 15 weeks, somewhere around there, if I'm not mistaken. We need someone here to Google this shit.
I bet you though, if every state decides to do this, which probably won't. You just go to another country. You just go to Mexico or something. If they really
wanted to drive,
if they really want to get abortion still.
Yeah, well, that's the problem though. Some of these women that need that medical care for whatever reason, they don't have a lot of money to transport themselves from point A to point B and then back to their home.
Yeah,
that's one argument of people that are against the ban is. There's not a whole lot of money for them to be driving. They can't drive 17 hours across state lines or across the border, or they don't have the means to. Some don't even have vehicles. And then that's another argument of the people that are for abortion was like, well, fuck, if you don't have the money, then you shouldn't be having sex and, making kids.
Yeah, that's an easy one to say.
That's a very valid argument.
That's always one that people throw out there.
Yeah. But we're two guys talking about
keep your pants on, huh?
Women's vaginas. So how's that feel?
I'd be worried as a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with people need to have their own yeah. It's like in the middle with it. Like I feel like women should be able to do whatever the hell they want. But it's also fucked up to have an abortion when they're a certain like if they're getting into like months, it's like it's like shit. I think I've heard of some like 6 months or something. It's like I feel like that's too much. And then you always have the argument if it is like consensual, then it's like, well, why were you practicing safe sex?
Right.
So I don't know. But it's not, I think most people aren't one way or the other. I feel like it's like kind of like the vaccine. It's like you should have the choice to do it. But also people thought it was the best thing to do.
Mm.
So just like with this, it's like, I don't know.
It'll be interesting to watch it play out. But the pictures that people are posting on social media right now, that the folks that are outside of the Supreme Court, they're popping champagne bottles.
I saw that.
And then Beto, really, I want to listen to what Beto put. Should we listen?
What is it? He's probably not happy.
Oh,
with it, right?
No. He's definitely not happy.
But
it's so gross whenever, I don't know why it has to be a political thing. That's another thing that's a religious thing too, is abortion. It's derived somewhere in the Bible, but I know it's a religious thing.
Yeah.
But and then it turns into a racial thing too, because Republicans are conservatives or people that are against it are saying that the Democrats just are enabling the Hispanic and Black community to kill their babies. Like they're taking that hard slant at it.
Yeah.
It's fucked, dude. It's a stupid, that topic, like that's the number. So when presidents are running, for their presidential campaign, that's like immigration, and then what's your views on abortion and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's a little gray.
Yeah. So the reason it was overturned too is because Trump's appointees. He had 3 significant appointees that are obviously of the conservative slant.
I definitely feel like this isn't the end of it. I think there's going to be an uproar.
Well, in November, whenever the elections come around, it's either going to go both ways. But I feel like the country's tired of Biden. Even like a lot of Democrats, they're tired of, paying $7 a gallon. What are we paying here? Almost $5. And it's not really the president that has a whole lot to do with it, but I think people in general are they're
associating that with the president.
Yeah. If things are good, president's doing good. If things are bad, well, who the fuck's this guy?
Well, I mean, all those stickers for the gas stations don't help.
Did you see him fall the other day?
Yeah. They were saying that might not be him or something. Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, there's that conspiracy. But
why is he on a bike? How old is he?
He's
80?
Almost 80, right? Is he?
What's
80?
he doing on a bike?
He's got to get his exercise.
You see how many people are riding with him?
Well, those are all the security.
Yeah. They should put guns
He
on the
should
handlebars.
not be on a fucking bike.
I don't think so. He can barely walk.
I like when he does his little interviews, and then he's going to Air Force One, and he does his run, his little trot. Do you see it? Yeah, he'll do a little trot like he's running, and he does it for 6 steps.
Yeah,
and then he stops.
He's
It's
tired.
like CNN will show that little clip, and then say President Biden's looking better than ever these days, and then Fox will play the whole clip of him doing like 6 steps. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
It's funny, dude.
We need to catch him on Strava. See what he's really doing.
See what he's running. What if he's really fast?
What if he has good times?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, not with that bike, dude. He ain't doing no tries.
I think Trump had better times.
I wonder. We should put them up against each other in like a.
I'm excited about the presidential
1K.
debates.
When's that?
November.
Oh,
2024.
because Trump's running again, huh? Allegedly.
I mean, allegedly. We don't know. We don't know, but we hope.
And
Because it'll just be fun to. It's been too quiet. Like, you know, like President Biden's not really talking. You don't hear a whole lot.
that's what people don't like. Come on.
Yeah,
Say something.
Yeah, come on. I mean, we're paying high gas. Say something.
There really is.
There's not a whole lot of like
Communication.
entertainment in the political world.
So Beto will probably run too, huh?
How'd you say his name?
Beto.
I just like I liked it. I'm not talking shit. I liked
he
it.
doesn't use his real name, so
Robert Francis O'Rourke.
So I might as well say his last name wrong.
Oh, he's running for the governor.
Oh, so he's not even shooting that high.
No,
Who? I'm forgetting the guy who's on Rogan. Is he going to go again?
the guy that was on Rogan.
Yeah, the big political figure that was on Rogan.
Which one?
The biggest, Bernie Sanders.
Oh, Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, is he probably out for good?
I think he's out for good.
Yeah. Who else would be in it? Is it just going to be?
I don't know. That'll be interesting. I'd like to see like Tulsi Gabbard. She's pretty dope, but no one likes her.
I feel like everybody does, but they.
People,
don't.
yeah, like the American people like her, but like the political establishment don't like her.
Yeah, because she's a threat. She'd probably do it again. She's pretty young, huh?
Yeah, I think she's in her like late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, they have to be of a certain age. Is she even old enough? How old do you have to be?
I think she's of age.
36 or something. It's got to be a certain age of maturity.
I thought it was 40. I thought it was 40 something.
So maybe she can't even run.
No, I think she can. I think she's old enough.
Okay.
I could be wrong. We need to have a Google person here. We need to pay someone to come in and
We'll pay
keep us on the rails.
Candace.
Yeah.
With the computer.
Candace or Tyler.
Who can type faster? With one hand.
Ooh, I don't know.
One-handed Googler.
You think, did you, speaking of one-handed Googler, Jamie did an interview. He did a podcast.
On what?
On a golfing podcast.
Oh, he's really into that, huh?
He's gotten really into it. I think they're based out of Austin. But he said how he got started. I think he met Rogan at a comedy store and just said, "Hey, I want to start working or something." And Rogan brought him in as like an intern, and he was basically like getting coffee and stuff like that. And then it turned into him doing what he's doing now.
So he talked about how he got started on that golf podcast?
Yeah, they didn't talk they talked a lot about golf. I was hoping they'd talk a lot, about the history. But he made it seem, they asked the question, what is it like about, how is it like working with Joe Rogan and seeing all these celebrities and political figures and, authors and all the explorers come on the podcast. And he was like, it's a job. I look at it like I go in and I work, I have stuff to do, and then it ends and they leave and I have stuff to do afterwards. And, it's a job. I look at it like I was a server, working.
Damn. That's not good.
Well, he was. That's what he was doing, like, before he started working with Rogan. Like, he's a server.
Yeah, but he didn't, I guess, he didn't mention, like, having enjoyment.
Oh, no. I think he was very, like, appreciative, but he made it seem, I would have been like, oh, shit, this shit's badass. You know what I mean? But
it probably gets normal. After a while, you just another day.
Yeah, Kanye West. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't there for that one, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like a super fan of him.
He had the V. He had bubbles on that one.
Haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah.
I still think they need to do a podcast together. I think you said they did before, but they need to do like a one now and like do a catch up. I think people really would want that.
No, I think so too. I think people like his perspective. He's a smart dude.
Yeah, you often ask him questions like because he knows that he knows it off the top of his head.
Yeah,
especially with tech.
Yeah, he goes to so they did one podcast, I think in 2018, where Jamie went to the CES conference, Computer Expo something like technology in Las Vegas, I think it is, and they talked about it, but it was oh, and they did another one too. Him and Tony Hinchcliffe and Rogan did one when they were on the road, but it was like shitty audio, so I couldn't really listen to it. But he's an interesting guy. He's a smart cat, man. Yeah,
I saw on that. What is it? Protect Our Parks or Save the Parks episode.
Save Our Parks.
The latest one. They were smoking pot, and he what's his name? The guy who got shit faced.
Shit, I don't know.
Anyways, he goes and off screen and hands it to Jamie. You see Jamie's arm go, and he's like smoking with them.
I like Jamie. I like how humble he is. You know, he's like
he'll do anything really.
He doesn't show his face a whole lot. He doesn't care about the screen time.
Yeah.
Ari.
Yeah.
And then Mark Norman is the guy that you like, the voice.
I always picture Jamie as a different person, and then when I see him, I'm like, fuck.
Oh.
I have an image of Jamie, I guess as young Jamie, like a young, like
clean cut.
He's not really young, and I
no.
figure him as he's like a skinny guy, and I think he's not fat, but he's just not what I think he looks like.
Yeah. No, I pictured him because, young Jamie, I picture him in his like 20s or something, and he's like late 30s maybe, early 30s, mid 30s. They talked about that too, like why do they call you young Jamie? He's like, well, it's like because I'm the youngest person there, and it's just always been young Jamie. And then they ask him what his favorite nickname is, and I think Dave Chappelle called him Fingers one time. He's like, yo, Fingers, look this up.
Yeah. That's it's funny how your mind will like create an image of somebody. Because I used to listen to Rogan without the video. Because before on Apple, it wasn't like Spotify. So anyways, I'll listen to someone for a long time and I would create this image, and I would always at least once have to go and look up the name of the person so I could see, because I was like, man, I can't tell what they're going to look like. And then oftentimes I was like completely wrong, like on what they would look like.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool having the video now. And I don't even need to watch the video. I try to consciously like not put the video on and just listen.
Yeah.
But there's something about watching all the mannerisms, interactions, faces and stuff. So
I put it on for Kelly. Like I put the video on because she likes looking at it when we're driving. And did you hear that?
Jeez.
That was like a half hiccup, half burp.
That's what happens.
Sound like a frog or something.
Can you do it again?
I don't know. I like breathe and it like.
I thought it was in like a humid forest or something. Around some ponds.
She likes looking at, and that's all we listen to when I'm driving. So that or just podcasts in general.
You say when you're driving, but when she drives, is it different?
She doesn't drive. Like unless I'm sick.
Jeez.
She drives, but I don't. I'm driving. I don't want her to drive. She can barely fucking see. She can't even walk around the fucking house. Think I want her to drive for my life? You know what I mean?
Talk to me about your cold plunges. How's it going?
I love cold plunges.
That's it?
Yeah. Is that all you want to know?
Is it getting easier?
No. I didn't want to do it this morning. I dread. So this morning I had a little more playtime because I didn't have to go into the office or whatever. And I usually get in the cold plunge like at 4:50, and then I get out and I stretch and I start working out like at 5:20, 5:30. That way I can be done with everything at 6:30. And I was like, I got a little playtime. I don't have to be at Mike's till 8 o'clock, 8:30. Did it again.
Ribbit.
Anyway,
concerned about you.
I had too much caffeine today.
Okay.
The bad caffeine. So I was like putting it off. I was like, I need to change the song. I need to go get my towel. So I put it off for like 15 minutes because the screen said 40 degrees. You know, my little thermometer said 40 degrees. And I was like, fuck, dude, it hurts when you first go in. I've been doing a lot of research, trying to validate if I'm really doing something. I feel like I'm doing something. Yeah. Is it really worth it? Or am I just, coming out here because everyone else is doing it?
I feel like, I think with some of the science stuff, it's like, if it makes you feel good, even if it's a placebo effect, I know you want internally for these, what is it called, cold shock proteins and all this stuff to be really happening. I mean, you listen to Rhonda Patrick. I mean, she's done the actual studies on it, and with that and sauna, I feel like something's going on. And if you do feel better, it's better than not feeling good. Yeah. I don't know.
You can find both arguments to both sides. Like there's really no concrete evidence, or it hasn't been widely studied, or some scientist debunks Wim Hof. Like you can find those videos on YouTube, which Wim Hof is the Iceman, and he's like the most popular person probably for cold plunges. But
well, if anything, there's something to what he does, because there's not everybody can do what he does, and then he's using breath work to go into this. So he knows something that science. There's so much stuff that science doesn't prove, and science is disproven all the time. All the time. Like so, it's like you can't put all your weight in science all the time. It's just like with these little things, they're unexplainable, and if you're feeling better, fucking do it.
I'm to the point now where I'm starting to debate if I want to give up coffee, because it supercharges my morning, and it has a lasting effect where I don't need coffee to jumpstart. I don't need a pre-workout to start working out. I just go do that. I get out, and it's what I don't like. I said, it could be a placebo thing, or it could be the fact that I'm doing something that no one else is doing, and it sucks, and you just do it. That kind of gives you like a mental edge. You know what I mean? That I think that is a part of it too. But the breath work, I've been trying to be more conscious about my breathing. Like I do the little box breathing where you like breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it, and then exhale quickly for 4 seconds, and then hold it, and then do it all over again. And I don't know if I'm doing it right or if it's working, but I feel better.
Yeah. There's no right and wrong, man. Like that's how people come across this stuff, just by experience. Yeah. Some of the people that do the studies don't even do it. Like some of the people doing psychedelic studies never done mushrooms. Like, so could you imagine? I mean, it's probably for biases and stuff. Like, you don't want to find what you're looking for when you're a scientist, but like to not go through the experience and to write it off as just there's nothing there. Yeah, I'm sure there's people there's people that have debunked the cold plunge benefits because they don't like Wim Hof. They're like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. I'm gonna go in and investigate and prove him wrong because he's a fucking moron. I bet you there's people. I think I told you this before. I bet you there's people that are like the trolls of the scientific community and go look at crazy, like well-known research that's been theories or maybe proven things, and they go and just try to study the opposites, try to break it, which is good for science, but it's like, I bet you that's why you find two of everything. Someone goes and finds a popular study and then goes against it, because you imagine if that comes out and you're like, oh wait, eggs aren't, remember eggs went back and forth, like eggs are good, eggs are not. Could you imagine, like, you put your article out there and it just blows up, and it is, because it's going to go against what everybody knows. So it's the same thing like social media. Like there's no bad publicity. It's like, as long as someone's talking about you, it's good. So that's why some people make outrageous comments, almost like the Amber Heard thing. Hey, he hit me. Fucking popular shit now. Now she's paying for it because it's a false claim. She's about to write a book. Apparently she got a book deal. You gonna read it? No, she's got to get like just like what I said, there's no thing as bad publicity. So she's got to be in the light again, and it's gonna take people a long time to like trust her again or go watch her movies or whatever the fuck.
Everyone's
She's still attractive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like these football players that, fight dogs or beat their wives and then they're back playing football. It's like,
go Cowboys.
Doesn't take that long for them to bounce back.
Well, it goes back to our last podcast. We have a shortest attention span.
Yeah, it's quick.
You need a block. You need to turn off all your notifications.
I'm cool with that.
You try it out. See if it works.
I'm cool with that.
I got mine. My phone shuts off at 7:30, or the do not disturb at 7:30. But I'm thinking about starting it at 6 now.
Yeah.
And I got all social media notifications. I don't get any likes, messages. Everything is off.
I think I don't know why, but you're talking about quit coffee. I quit coffee. I never was into coffee before. I just started doing it just to like, this is like, I have a coffee. And I did start off with sweet coffees and I did it more for taste, but then I started realizing how focused it makes you. But I always have thought that coffee is going to have like negative long-term effects because it's like a stimulant. It's always when you stimulate something so much, you start to lose. You have to start overstimulating,
right?
So you start losing that feeling and that response. And I feel like over time you're losing something that maybe hasn't been studied like yet, and you're gonna have numbing of something to where whatever it is, like maybe you're like what is it called? I don't know, your neurons aren't going to fire the same, or it blocks, or maybe this plaque shit that, we've been talking about, maybe it's going to start plaquing pathways and things aren't going to work because you just overstimulated it. It's like
the Dr. Rosen we just talked to, he said, I don't know, he didn't say caffeine in general, but I imagine it works the same.
I forgot to ask him. Damn it.
Imagine it works the same. Caffeine will block your pineal gland and then shoot up since you're not getting the melatonin, your cortisol goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's why I imagine it works the same way, same as social media.
And that's like in that book, Why We Sleep.
Yeah.
You're supposed to not, if you drink even one cup of coffee, you don't get into your REM cycles. And those are the cycles that break down, like what he's talking about, those atoms that turn into plaque and start mucking your brain and start causing you to forget stuff and ultimately might lead to dementia. Shit.
Crazy shit.
There's just too much shit.
I want to get somebody on to talk about the circumcision.
We'll go right back to it.
Yes.
I think we need to have someone come in for breath work. Because I don't care what you say, there's something to breath work, and there can be studies on it that say, breathing means nothing. Yeah, because like even if I think about it and start breathing, like I have trouble sleeping sometimes. I'm wondering, like I'm actually thinking about what you were saying, shutting the phone off because the blue light causing the cortisone and blocking the melatonin.
Cortisone. Cortisone.
What did I say?
Cortisone.
Oh, I said it?
Yeah.
But I didn't say it?
You said cortisone.
Yeah. So the cortisone blocks the melatonin, right?
Cortisol.
Oh, okay. What is cortisone?
I think it's a cream you put on your ass.
Anyways. Yeah, I think here recently, not recently, years now, it seems recently, but I have trouble sleeping. I never had trouble sleeping. So maybe it is that 20 minutes I'm spending on the phone.
You're drinking more coffee too these days.
That too. I used to not drink coffee.
Fucking refined, man. Fuck us up.
So maybe I changed some habits because I don't think I'm getting deep sleep anymore, and it takes me a lot of tossing and turning to go to bed. But when I do have those problems, I'll start, because I have stuff on my mind. So, like when you're asleep, you're like, all right, enough with thinking of stuff. Let me think of nothing, and then eventually go to bed. I start doing this breathing. I'll focus on my breathing, not crazy deep breathing, but just breathing. And when I think about breathing, I don't think about anything else. And then I start noticing I'm falling asleep.
Really?
Yeah, I start feeling good. And I start feeling good. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to sleep. And I'm feeling like deep sleeping. It's like this in-between stage. And then after a while, I'm gone. But breathing gets me to that place And it's, it's like meditation. It's like you're just focusing on one thing rather than thinking of all this shit that you got going on.
I could fall asleep anywhere.
You don't have trouble sleeping ever?
I don't have trouble falling asleep. I have trouble staying asleep.
Well, you always talk about when you're up, you're up. Fuck that. That's never me.
What do you mean when I'm up? I'm up.
If your eyes open, you're up.
Not like in the middle of the night. Like if it's 4:00, my body is already accustomed to waking up, like getting up. Yeah. So even if I want to sleep in on a weekend, I'm not. I can't. It's not going to happen.
Dude.
I'm up.
Not me. If I set my alarm probably every day for 5, and I get up at like 6. And I don't know. I think what I think is like it's starting to get me up 5 or whatever. But I've heard of like the harmful effects of your alarm going off all the time. It's like causing these little spikes in your brain that, like, what is it? Cortisol is hitting every time that you freak out because that alarm's hitting, the crazy. So
I've also heard too that you become more tired if you don't wake up on your.
I know that by experience because there's sometimes when I wake up at 5 or whatever and I'm like, I'm done sleeping. I know I am, but I'm like, nah, I'm just going to stay because I want to rest more.
All right.
I can stay in bed all day. There's a certain point. I tested this when I was little because I would just sleep as long as I could. And it gets to a point like at 4:00 when it's like, all right,
dude.
All right. You're like, you need to get up. But you probably have that same feeling at 5 and I don't get it. But I've always been a night owl, so like I need to that's getting me my.
Well, I mean, then your circadian rhythm. Is your shit all fucked up or what?
Probably from looking at these damn lights.
You think so?
Think there's some blue in there?
Some blue light?
I need to start wearing my glasses again.
Don't wear those fucking glasses. I like you not wearing those glasses.
I can't. The only reason I haven't is I can't find them. You bought some.
Yeah, and I don't wear them.
You were wearing them for a little while.
I tried, but it's dumb. They don't work. There's no way it works.
You need to. You're fucking up your brain.
They don't work. I don't. Well, no, because I don't look at my shit.
I knew when he started talking about that plaque. Got in your head.
No, not as much. I'm in like a better mental space now.
How do you feel about your brain getting thinner? It happens.
It happens. It's gonna happen over time.
It's life.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Have you had like anxiety stuff happen recently?
No, just like sometimes, I don't know, sometimes the coffee hits wrong. If I have 2, like I had 3 today and it didn't fuck me up.
I know.
So, but I have sometimes, every once in a while, I'll have that second one and I think it's when I get in my head, I start thinking about.
You're like, I shouldn't be drinking the second one.
No, I start thinking about I'm alive. And that's weird that we're alive and what happens next and, what if I die kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's when that's when it's fucked up.
Really?
But if I'm just going with the flow and living in the moment, no, it doesn't mess with me. Because I like ride the wave.
Yeah.
If you're not riding the wave, man, it's like you start freaking out because you're like trying to figure out what's happening in the future. I think that's where we fuck up. We start trying to control things and think about what's going to happen in a year or 5 years. Not saying planning is bad, but I think that gives you anxiety because you can only control what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You can make incremental changes that change your future, but you don't know what's going to happen in the future.
I wanted to ask him if writing your thoughts on paper help anxiety, because I think it does. That's another thing I've been doing.
That's something.
I've been reading, and then I write what I read, and then sometimes I just kind of journal every now and then, and it's helping. But staying off the phone, I still get on. Like I'm not saying I don't get on, but not nearly. Like my screen time is down.
5 hours?
Well, not a lot. Like I don't know what it is, but I know it's a lot less than what it used to be. Than because every time I got a notification, I would like check. Okay, what is this? And then at 7:30, like at night, it was bad because I had my phone. I'm watching TV and just check it, blah blah blah. But now I don't.
Is it just on or off, or can with the work emails, can I keep those going in a certain time range, like when work is going on?
Yeah, you can set all that stuff up.
Really?
Like
for times?
How you want. So if you just go into your social media apps in general, like just go to Instagram, turn off notifications, you could do it like that. That's what I did. That's what I did on all my social media. I don't get any, none, zero.
That's nothing. Just on or off.
Just on or off. And then at night at 7:30, between the hours of 7:30 and 5:30, all my notifications on my phone, like no text messages, no calls.
That's do not disturb.
Yeah, from 7:30 to 5:30. But I'm thinking about scooting it up to 6 now. Because I'm not on call for work or whatever. Like I don't need to take calls from work anyway at 6 o'clock.
You should just trash your phone.
I want to.
Do a big thing on Instagram. You're like, you can't post
this phone.
There's no way to post it, because it's like you're going to damage it. So you have to get another person's phone and film you breaking the phone and saying, I'm done.
I'm done with this phone.
But you posted it.
Yeah, I'm done with it, but here's my email address.
It's like when people are having a hard day and and they're crying in the video, but they set their phone up somewhere over there. Yeah. Then had to kind of
work up,
and then they're like looking away. And it's like sometimes when you're having a bad day, I'm like, if I looked at it right then, I was like, oh, that's pretty bad. But then they set their phone up somewhere. They put it on a stand. Yeah. And if they put it on a tripod, that's really filthy. Can you imagine? Put a light on.
What kind of tripod though?
They took the time to put like a ring light on them. Yeah. Just
well, you gotta make it look good.
They look good.
Aesthetics, right?
Maybe
back to aesthetics.
Maybe the tears reflect in the light, so
they're crying.
That they're crying.
Who are you talking about? Who does this?
Just someone I saw recently.
Who?
Nobody. I'm not calling people out, dude. But
why not?
But people do that though.
I don't know who. I want to go watch this video though.
We'll watch it after this.
Okay.
But
promise.
It might have been the story, so maybe not.
Yeah, fuck with the story. There's a lot of people
that's safe though. You can do the story because then it's like I didn't do that.
Yeah, it's gone. It deleted.
I didn't do that. When are stories going to go away?
Never.
That's the Snapchat. No, stories is Snapchat.
No, stories is Instagram.
I know. No, but Snapchat came out with this thing that you can post something and then it goes away. Oh, something you just want to do. So everybody implemented the story because of Snapchat. Almost don't know why Snapchat's still a thing, but because you can even send temporary videos through Facebook and Instagram. And then Facebook and Instagram are the same thing. I almost was going to delete Snapchat.
You should. I did. I got it back.
I think you're still there.
Yeah, I got it back because of you. You're crying about it.
Well, it's nice when we send the videos because it's like it doesn't like take 8 hours to send to you. But like the temporary videos on Facebook, it takes a long time. Sometimes it doesn't even send.
Really?
So that's like the convenience of it. And I have a couple groups I follow, but I'm like, I just want to get down to one thing.
There's too many.
There's too many, and they all do the same thing. They're all just evolving, except for Snapchat. They're like, "Fuck it, we're not gonna like make it like Facebook or Instagram."
They got the faces now. They got the filters.
The endless
filters. The filters on the faces.
Yeah,
that's what Snapchat is putting a filter on all those cry faces. You know the cry face. That's what Snapchat's still around. It's got those. You can swap your face with another person in your picture.
Like TikTok has some pretty powerful capabilities. I don't have it, but when we were posting on yours, I was like, damn, you can put a lot of shit on here. You can make something pretty crazy. I'm surprised you don't see that with the other, like it's very limited on Facebook and Instagram. I'm surprised they haven't invested in that because that's pretty cool. Like that's all everybody's going to do now is make these short videos that are funny or whatever. Yeah. That seems like the way it's going to go. I don't know I think other media is going to die off. It's just this quick hit stuff. And it's funny, like Vine had this. They started it. They knew it, but it just, I guess, did they not have the endless swipe? Is that what fucked it up? I
never got with Vine.
I didn't either, but
so I don't know.
But it was big, and then it was bought by.
I watched some Vine videos, but I never really got into it.
I think Vine was bought. Instagram bought Vine. Is that right?
I don't know. Do Google?
I have to look at. Oh shit! I don't even have my phone. See,
where's your phone, dude?
I'm practicing. Have you ever done that?
No. ¿Cómo se llama?
Bullshit. You've lost your phone and went. And
if I lose my phone,
you think you lose it. And
if I'm in a public place and then it goes off, I'll freak out.
Yeah,
but that's different. We're in the fucking house.
it always goes somewhere. When you lose, it's like, where the fuck did it go? It's been in my couch cushions many times.
Are you ready to call this?
I guess you gotta go somewhere or what?
No, it's been an hour.
Oh, so we just shut off what I was saying.
Keep going.
I'm actually wouldn't go anywhere with that.
No, but I'm glad we talked about the circumcision today.
Yeah.
I want to get somebody on to talk about it.
Do you think we can collect enough skin to put it back?
Maybe
3D printing.
What do they do with the skin? They incinerate it.
I think they go back in the back, snort it. Maybe we can get a skin material and 3D print it. We'll put them back.
Would you be okay with bringing someone on talking about foreskin removal?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we need to get a breathwork person too. Someone that does that shit that Kayla was talking about. The one that like makes you hallucinate. We need to get that level of a breathing.
We need to bring someone on who is pro-abortion. What is that?
I don't know. It just sounds cool.
I like your nails.
What else do we need to get on?
School safety.
School safety. Okay.
So work on that.
And then one of the guys that got the president on camera when he fell off his bike. Very specific people, but I think we can get them all.
I think we can get that person.
Yeah.
All right. Love you, buddy.
Bye. Ah, fuck.
Bye.